aboard Blur Force One with your boy Mo and your girl Polly. And this is the Supercast. The Supercast, where we talk about all things superhero in our pop culture media. That's movies, TV shows, video games. We talk about the news and do some speculation. All of that good nerdy stuff. And before we get into the podcast today, you know what to do. Get down there and hit like on this video. And welcome everybody back to yet another live cast of the Supercast. I think it's going to be a normal thing because this is a bit easier than just like than what I normally would do.
So much easier.
And also, I like when people jump into the live chat. So I haven't seen anybody show up yet, but it's all good. Polly, welcome back. I had to do the show by myself last week.
I know.
Nobody liked it.
I'm so sorry.
Nobody liked it.
Well, I did.
Oddly enough, it got a decent amount of views, and I'm not exactly sure why. I'm never sure why people are showing up, but hey, I'm glad.
It's because I wasn't there.
the pro read contingent as they were coming in to anti-review bomb, but yeah, welcome back though. Glad to see you back this week.
Yeah, glad to be back.
Yeah, what you been up to?
Ooh, reading. I finally got around to reading everything that I missed up to like this week's issues. And there is a lot. Yeah. I even caught up on some issues, like comic issues that I haven't read before, like Magic, Psylocke, stuff like that.
Right. These are new comics that
yes,
that I am not going to read until next year, probably.
That's probably a good idea because I've noticed even right now, I noticed that when I binge, it's just such a better experience than week to week.
It's almost like the Japanese have, even though Japanese they put out their manga week to week also, but an awful lot of people just wait until they're collected into the little things. Maybe it's almost like they should do that. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be great if they stopped canceling issues because nobody buys singles. There is like a reason why nobody buys singles. No, not nobody, but like a lot of people don't buy. And some of us just having a hard time getting them. So.
Yeah, it's this not living in America thing. What a chore. What a chore.
It's not the benefits,
yeah,
okay?
Except for the things that are good. So
yeah. So, I can manage.
I saw you're playing Rivals also as you have you been playing Blade? Have you tried Blade out?
Look, I mean, he only got released today, and I'm not playing like test servers or anything, but he gets released today. I'm planning on going like at night probably when it would be easier to get him to actually play with him. But I've been doing well. Been playing tank. Been playing like everything, getting them MVPs, but like all in quick play.
Nice.
I don't do competitive.
Yeah, well, I still don't play, so you know.
Well, I mean, I do recommend though. I'm not a fan of the genre myself, but like I found it very exciting to just play with characters, and like that there are toxic people everywhere, but like it's a lot less of them lately.
Yeah, I think I'm holding out for Marvel Tokon fighting souls. They released some gameplay like how to beginners guides, and then some fighting game like I don't want to say luminary, but like people who are prominent in the fighting game community. They got a chance at Evo to play the game and kind of talk about it. So I'm getting excited for it. I hope it's out before the end of this year, but I think it's next year. But they are kind of hyping us up about that, and also I'm ready for the Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I think the last few weeks they talked about a couple new characters that are going to be in it, but some people got to play it more extensively. So that's like the side-scrolling beat 'em up one, and I'm looking forward to that too. I think that should come out before the end of the year. So that I'm going to play that at some point. Beyond that, I was kind of out of town, so I didn't really do as much as I wanted to, but I've been catching up on Twisted Metal, the Twisted Metal series on Peacock. That's actually really damn good. The second season started. I watched the first episode of that. It's really great. It's actually starting to be like the video game where it's a tournament where they're trying to kill each other. Really, that's a fun show. I recommended it to everybody. I slept on it. I shouldn't have because it's really good. I other than that, what else did I do? Oh, I went and saw Weapons last night. I'm not gonna review it here. It did not meet my expectations, but it's still a good movie. But my expectations were really high, and I don't like going into movies with really high expectations. But Barbarian was so good, and like let me say, this trailer sells the shit out of this movie. I just don't feel like it reaches. It doesn't really fulfill the promise of the trailer, in my opinion. It's still an interesting premise, but it's not as creepy or as weird or mysterious as the trailer suggests. But still, it's a good time, and I enjoyed it. Julia Garner's very good in it. It's Alden Ehrenreich.
Is that the Silver Surfer?
Yeah, so she's really good in it. Alden Ehrenreich is in it also. He's cool. He's sporting the mustache. He's sporting the big, what do they call it, the brush mustache in it. And also Josh Brolin's also in it. And there was some weird talk around it too, because Pedro Pascal was originally supposed to be in it. I think in the Josh Brolin role.
Well, wasn't he busy?
Well, it's the strikes really kind of messed up that what they were trying to do with it. So because the strikes kind of messed with everyone's schedules, he couldn't do the movie because he had other things that he's got a ton of stuff to do, so he couldn't do it.
There's a lot of stuff to do, like surprising.
Yeah. Well, what it turned out, Zach Krager, who is the director, had to recast the whole movie. So it's not just Pedro Pascal that was. People were trying to make it out like his schedule fucked everything up. No, it wasn't his schedule. Literally everyone that was originally cast got recast because their schedules conflicted, right? He basically recast the whole movie. I think they all did a good job. It's just like the movie, like I said, it didn't live up to my expectations, which is my bad. But also it's not as creepy as I wanted it to be. But I still think it's good. I think most people would be into it. Last thing, I said I wasn't gonna be nerding on a budget because that really expensive thing you see right there, you see him. But I did nerd on a budget when I was out of town, and also I found something cool on Amazon. So real quick,
to be fair, when you're out of town, it's the rules. You have to buy something.
Is it really like that don't count? Right?
It doesn't count. Yeah, it doesn't count. Well, it goes into your out of town budget.
Yeah, and that never is paid. So I found this at a store, or a discount store. This is Morgan Elsbeth from Ahsoka. This was $3.50. How can I say no to that? Also, I found a couple of the Flash ones. I know everyone loves the Flash and thinks it's a great movie. So I got the General Zod one, and this one I believe was $4, I think. And then I found also the Flash. This is the one where in the movie he had to put on the Batman suit and take off the ears. So that's him in that suit. In other words, the Barry Allen that goes bad. So that was really cheap. Like,
wait, isn't it supposed to be like the Reverse Flash?
Well, he's not the Reverse Flash, but he's a Flash that he's basically Dark Flash. So that was pretty good. Also, and this is the one I shouted this out on Threads. So if anyone jumped on it, you're welcome. Look at my guy. Look at my guy. Look, will you look at him, y'all? Come on.
So awesome.
I'm never taking it out of this box.
Come on.
Nope.
How are you gonna play with him?
I for the same way that I will not. I don't take my comic books out of the bags and boards. Nope, he's going on the wall. You see,
you know what?
If you look up there, you see my Marvel Legends sitting up there. He's gonna go on the wall.
See it? Well, this is just standing right here because I'm about to take. Yeah, but like even a statue, I would never keep in a box because I like to touch them. I like to like hold them like an Oscar.
The statues are meant to come out, but I know these are meant to be played with. But I love the box. I'm not kidding. I love the boxes on these things, and I would especially these like here. They're like the old school packaging. like the other Marvel Legends, you can take the package and keep the packaging intact. Once you take these out, the packaging is ruined, and I don't want to ruin the packaging, so it's gonna go on the wall. My good old Spider Punk. We're going to be talking about Spider Punk later when we get into the news.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all of our, what we've been up to. That's nerdy and nerdy on a budget. Now we're gonna do something new on the show. We haven't done this before, but I was thinking, like, Polly, you are a comic book reader. You are more of one than I am now. That's your thing, right? You famously read all of the Fantastic Four comics prior to First Steps coming out, which is a chore, and so that you would that you
Took
would
about like a
yeah
half a year, I think.
yeah, so that you, when people try to come at you or talking about you're wrong about Reed, you can be like, well, you can do well actually them. So that's like so you know what you're talking about, and I know that you read comics a lot. So I thought, let's have let's give you a segment where you talk about what you've been reading and let us know maybe what should we be reading. Well, so you go ahead, you
Mm.
take it away. You let us know what you're thinking.
Okay. Well, this week I actually, like I said, I caught up on a lot of new comics, and I haven't wrote them down. I wrote everything down. So out of the current runs, I mostly read the X-Men, and everything that goes on with the X-Men, and it's mostly Marvel stuff because, like, with DC, I still prefer to catch up a little bit later when a little bit more is out. So this week I've been reading of course, Emma Frost run, 'cause she's one of my favorite characters, and currently she has like a bit of a solo like mini, which is kind of interesting. It goes back into her days in the Hellfire Club. It's like somebody is trying to mess with her there, so that's what she's doing. It's a decent run, but we'll see where it goes. We'll see. One of the
What
most,
real
like,
quick
actually,
question. Is she currently married to Tony Stark, or have they gotten married? Is that, am I right?
no. That's over, and
Okay.
it wasn't specifically. She wasn't as much married to him as the character she was uh
Pretending to be.
pretending to
Okay.
be. Yeah, the person she was
Okay.
pretending to be was married to, but that was a thing. That still was a thing, and I still kind of like it. It kind of works, in my opinion. So the main, probably the main issue this week that we had released was One World Under Doom. The new issue, the one with Doom tearing apart Richard's face, a very nice image. But well, it's finally. I'm gonna try not to spoil everything, but the whole event has been really exciting and really interesting because, well, it's a bit of a it's a great concept of taking a villain, well, or somebody who is who we know as a villain, and giving them like the free reign of the world. And of course, we know that for most people, for the majority, it was like a good experience. They liked the world under Doom. And in this last issue, we of course find out the price that was paid for this world. But one standout moment for me personally, as a Reed hater, is the debate between Reed and Doom. So that alone is worth reading the whole event for. Well, yeah, there is also giant size House of M and giant size X-Men that I read, which are like two parts of the same events and things going on centered around Miss Marvel. And it's such a strange idea. It kind of feels like a self-insert fanfic, which would it in theory, it is a perfect thing for like Kamala to be a character in, but at the same time, it's so unnecessary. I don't know. It just feels odd.
Is Iman Vellani
So
involved in any of that, or is that
I don't think that she
okay?
is. But it's just I don't know. It's like talking about shoehorning a character into something. Those are the things that probably should stay as they were. Uh, So and great solo runs, which I also mentioned. It's Psylocke, it's Laura Kinney the Wolverine, and Magic. Those are well done. mini series about solo characters, and I like how it's working out. They all have interesting stories centered around their past and their future, and like where they gonna go. Mm,
Let
so
me.
that's
Can I
pretty good.
ask?
Yeah.
So is this Psylocke
Mhm.
the like the original, not Braddock, not
This is
yeah,
Conan.
yeah, okay,
Conan.
okay.
Mhm. Yeah. Uh, Phoenix and Storm are like these runs I like a little bit less because they deal with a lot of cosmic stuff and a lot of like power ups
Mm-hmm.
for Storm and Phoenix. And but if you're into that sort of thing and if you want a lot of cool moments and like epic moments, epic
Mm-hmm.
hero moments, this would be the runs for you. Uh, Ultimate is doing really great with like Spider, Wolverine, and Ultimate. Those are and Black Panther. Those are the strongest stories. I think that they're starting to like everything is starting to come together.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Definitely recommend, but probably I would recommend to wait till it's all released
Yeah.
because that would be a great experience. And well, don't forget about Ultimate X-Men, which I haven't read. I kind of like dropped off, kind of feels disconnected, but I know that it's gonna come into play eventually.
Right.
Yeah. And other than that, like this week, I think this week it was just Uncanny X-Men that got released, and something interesting is going on there too. It kind of has the more of a vibe of a school thing, like
Mm-hmm.
of the original X-Men. So also we'll see where it goes. But so far, like Uncanny and X-Men, mm, and Exceptional X-Men are probably the runs that I would recommend to
Okay.
everyone.
Are there any that have been kind of solicited that you're looking forward to, that like any of like events or any anything like that?
Yeah, the Revelation stuff, like Age of Revelation, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
That is already not ongoing per se, but like it started already. This is very interesting. That's something I'm excited for because it has it's very strongly inspired by the Age of Apocalypse, and it's the era of Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that. And one of these days, I'm actually gonna start reading episodes of DC.
Yeah,
I should. I want to
I
start it so much.
yeah, I'm gonna say I'm gonna eventually get DC Universe or Infinite at some point. I'm gonna have to because I do want to read the absolutes. So, all right, well that's cool. Well, there you go, guys. It's Polly. Uh, she let us know all about the comic books. So you guys go to your local comic retailer, or if you're really, if you're cheap like me, get on the what is it, the Marvel
Marvel
yeah,
Unlimited.
Unlimited, because it really is the best way to
Mhm.
do it. Especially if you're like me,
It is amazing.
you don't want to have a whole bunch of comics sitting around. I read comics one time and then that might be it. Like I read one issue and that might be it. So you don't necessarily want to hold on to all of that. Sounds really cool. So especially One World Under Doom. So and I believe the first few issues of that are already on the app, so you guys can
Hmm.
check that out.
Yeah.
All right, uh, is someone actually at my door? No one's ever at my door, and suddenly I get someone ringing my doorbell. I am not gonna go
You
answer
know
it.
what? Why does an image from Sinners pop up in my
Yeah,
mind?
while I'm live, of course someone would come and ring the doorbell. Get out of here. Anyway, we're moving on.
Tell them to be
So
kind to one another.
this is the supercast where we are talking about news. So we are gonna dive into the news next. So we got a few things to talk about. Like uh real quickly, James Gunn talks about the possibility of one of his character actors that you've seen in Peacemaker and in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 coming to the DC universe. There is a new addition to the Vault Rising show that is, of course, a spinoff of The Boys. There is possibility that Spider-Punk may be getting his own thing over at Sony. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that we're seeing about Spider-Man Brand New Day. Is it too much? What's happening over there? We'll talk about that. And then finally, the big talk of the day is what's going on with the box office. Fantastic Four. It's not good. What does that mean for for the future of Marvel? Is are we in the Marvel age anymore? Is it time for our expectation to get down to a more reasonable place? We're gonna see what that's all about and see what Feige and Iger think about why this is happening. Because look, Fantastic Four is a good movie. Why would it not be doing well? We're gonna see what we think about that. So, Polly, you ready to get into it?
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's do it. So, oh, I almost forgot, Polly. This is the one thing I forgot we were supposed to do. I wanted your thoughts on Eyes of Wakanda because you were not here to talk about it last week,
Oh.
and
Mhm.
I talked about it on the show last week, and I did a live stream, which you can't see because I got copyright, a copyright thing. I'm not struck or anything. It's just basically you can't see it because there's audio, there's copyright audio.
Because Disney has their eyes on you too.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't care. It's not like a million people watched it anyway. So but I really wanted to. I loved it. I liked it better the second time than I did the first time. And I'm really. It makes me angry. Can I tell you? It just makes me angry because
I get it.
how dare you? How dare you put a 5-course meal in front of me? Let me get a bite or two, and then be like, done. You can't have any more. Anyway, that's my thoughts. What did you think about Eyes of Wakanda?
First of all, like as you see, I'm wearing Kimoy bits that my friend made for me.
Yeah, I remember that you showed those to us. Yeah.
Yeah, and I obviously loved it. I loved the fact that they not only like told the story of Wakanda, of what this country used to be like, of how they used to do things, and but they included some historic events like the Troy in episode 2, and then they included Iron Fist, and I was mad the whole episode because Iron Fist is one of the most annoying characters in Marvel Rivals. So
she was very annoying.
She was like,
she was super annoying.
Yeah, she flying on her. Anyway, but every story, the fact that the stories all led to the image of what we thought in Black Panther 1, that was amazing. There was some great work done on this show, and it was visually stunning, absolutely very well styled, very well designed. It was perfect in every way, and we definitely should have had more because there are more stories to tell, and not only about Wakanda. Because I think I wrote that on Threads that I wanted to see something like that about other places too, like other fictional places, even Latveria. Well, definitely Latveria, but Kunlun, other things like the Ancient One, wizards, everything.
Sabotage, yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely something that should be not limited to this particular event. We do need more of that.
Yeah.
And it helps build the world, build the universe, and it helps us understand more about where all the characters are coming from. So
yeah,
I think it's pretty important.
And it's
and yeah, I feel like I was my plate was taken away before I finished the meal too. Yeah.
It's why it's not required reading. It's just it's extra. It's more. It's deeper. And like you're right, they could do this for all. And it's animated, so like I'm not saying there's.
I don't think that it's too expensive.
It's expense to it, but it's not as involved as as other things, and even more importantly, there is no top bill talent in this. And, there's no A-list talent. You don't have to employ anybody like you don't have to employ Tom Holland or anything like that. And even if you
everyone is replaceable,
and like there's no set character like the characters. There's a couple that go between 2 episodes, but other than that, they're new characters every time. This is easy work.
Not all easy, but like it's something that we could use more of,
Yeah.
and that they could do more of.
Yeah. And but I think maybe the idea is when it was conceived was this will feed into the movies, and now they know that's not what it is. So maybe their idea, because like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man isn't leading anywhere. It's for TV, right? And I think the idea here could be that this is all canon in the MCU, but it doesn't have to have anything to do with what's going on in the movies. It can just be this is it's like Daredevil Born Again. Nothing in Daredevil Born Again. At most, it'll have some incidental thing to do with Brand New Day. At most, right? You get Punisher and maybe some other laws or whatever, but it doesn't actually change what's going on in the movies. But it's still happening. So there's another world going. I knew when I watched it, I knew you were going because you hadn't watched it before I watched it. You watched it after I watched it, and I was like, well, Polly's gonna love this. There's no way, there's no way she's not gonna love it. I was right. I knew you would, but I think what I'm seeing on social media is people love the shit out of this, and they're like, where has this been? 2, why is there only 4 episodes? And 3, are y'all gonna make more? And I can at least answer that last question. No, they're not gonna make more. No, they're not gonna make more.
Every time. This is so. It's like Ironheart all over again.
Yeah, and they didn't push this at all. They dropped it all at one time. They dropped it 3 weeks early. There's no bleed up. There was no week to week. They they barely spent any money on mark. If I were Ryan Coogler, I'd be like, why are y'all? You know what? Why are you disrespecting my shit like this? I'm just curious. I thought y'all wanted to work with me.
Right? And they have like one of the biggest names, one of the most respected names right now in him. So I would personally, everything that he wants to do for Marvel, you'd think they jump at the opportunity and they market the shit out of it. But no.
No, it's weird. They're gonna market the hell out of Black Panther, but I think between the political,
I think they're busy with Spider-Man.
No, well they're gonna market Black Panther 3 because it's a tried and true moneymaker. But I think with the political climate way it is, and the way everyone's bending the knee and kissing the ring here in America, stuff that features black people and is not gonna get a lot of priority. So I like that we got it, but I mean, enjoy it for what it is. We're not going to get much anytime soon. So, all right. So now let's actually do the news. So, you did not watch Peacemaker, right?
Not yet, but I am planning.
I mean, you got like 2 weeks, so
I'll make it.
So my headline here is that Chukwudi Iwuji could return to the DCU. So I mean, this is a bit of a spoiler, but he played a character that should not return to the DCU. But on the podcast, the Peacemaker podcast, where they're watching along and they're kind of commenting, he was on episode 5, which came out yesterday, and they were talking about, could he show up again? Because we when he was in Peacemaker, that was the first time James Gunn worked with him, and liked working with him so much that he cast him as the High Evolutionary, which is a character. I'm not gonna say he's the best villain that in the MCU, but he's up there. He's up there as like a villain. Like James Gunn was saying, like, look, humanizing a villain risks making you actually sympathize with or join their side, and no one in the world likes the High Evolutionary. There's not a person that watched Guardians 3 was like, you know what, this guy's got a point. You know what?
Yeah.
Actually, he's not too bad. No, he's bad. He's the worst. He's the worst. Like, even some people were like, Thanos was right. No one's saying High Evolutionary was right. Not
I've never heard that. And I'm surprised because you encounter like so different opinions. Yeah. There's always someone stupid enough to sympathize with someone irredeemable. but not that guy.
No, nobody
This.
liked. Everybody's like, nah,
Oh,
he's the worst.
everybody was like, oh, poor raccoons.
Yeah.
But then, like, if he'd done that to people in the movie, they would sympathize with
Yeah.
him.
Well, so this is all down to writing, but also the performance. They call him. I guess his friends call him Chuck or whatever. He's a Nigerian British man. And he just plays Mern, the character, so well. But circumstances in the show basically will be like, well, he's never going to be here again, right? And James Gunn was like, nah, he could come back. Like, he doesn't have to be the same character. Like, he's still, he could be a different person. He doesn't even have to be a humanoid character. And so, of course, people have been fan casting him, and one of them is Martian Manhunter, which, on one hand, I'm like, yeah, cool. I love Martian Manhunter. On the other hand, I guess is John Jones canonically a black man in the comic? Is he a comics in the comics? I don't remember that. I know he's.
Is he a man in the comics, like a human?
When he takes
I think he's green.
When he takes on a persona, like because he can shapeshift.
Oh,
I know in the DCEU,
that's funny.
Guy, but
I only remember him from Unlimited and Justice League Unlimited, the cartoon, and I can't remember. I feel like yes, but also maybe not.
Could be true. I don't know. They do tend to cast John Jones as a black man, which I'm not necessarily.
They do tend to cast a lot of green characters as black people.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily against that. And actually, I think there could be interesting things said about a character who can shapeshift into anything and chooses to be a black person, knowing what goes on in the world. So that I think that actually could be an interesting thing. But
what are the chances of that story happening?
It's all dependent on at DC. It's all dependent on who wants to tell a story and can they give a good script that makes sense. Because it can't just be all James Gunn writing stuff. So somebody's got to come to it with a story that makes sense. I kind of want to put this on, even though you've seen him as the Highly Evolutionary. He could, in fact, I will say this is basically James Gunn saying, yes, I think I know where he could be or what he could do, and I want him in the DCU. And knowing what you know about him, like, is this on point?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think that obviously whoever he ends up playing, that would be a great performance.
Oh, I think I lost Polly. Did I lose you? I think I lost Polly, y'all. Let's see. I think I lost her. Give me a second. Technical difficulties. Let me see. Yeah, you guys, y'all give me a second while I see if I can get Polly back on here. Let's, y'all chill for a second. I'm gonna see if I can get her back. right, guys. Y'all, we're back. Sorry, sorry about that. I think
Yeah.
I think Reed Richards knew you were streaming. So
Yes, he probably thought I was talking about him, like I have nothing else to do.
well,
But that sounds like exactly like his shenanigans. Yeah.
I forget what we were saying. Honestly, we're still on. Yeah, basically, this guy
uh,
he could come to the DCU. I don't even. I mean, we could fan cast, but like he could be anybody. Honestly.
yeah, that's the beauty of it, I think,
Yeah.
because we would never even guess so
Yeah.
many characters, and James Gunn doesn't necessarily go to the characters that everybody immediately thinks of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could also think that, because there's a lot of background, because there's 300 years worth of character, of metahumans. Did you see that mural that they explained all of the different characters on the mural?
Mm-hmm.
There were several black characters that were on that. There were several. I mean, if he's Martian Manhunter, he could have been any of them too. So it's entirely possible that he could be that or any one of those. So I love this idea. I really loved his character in both the movie and the TV show, and I think he could. I mean, he's a great actor. So let's see what James Gunn or just DCU is cooking when it comes to him. So we'll see. We'll let you guys know if we find out anything there. Also, we got another bit. We got a bit of casting news. So Vault Rising is the spinoff of The Boys, another spinoff of The Boys that is featuring what's it, Soldier Boy and what's her name, Stormfront. Who, as we know, Soldier Boy is a racist ass. He's like racist ass Captain America, and Stormfront's a Nazi, literal Nazi, but also the wife of the guy who created Vought, who was also a Nazi. It's the whole world of The Boys happened because Nazis made their Superman or trying to make a Superman. So
is it weird that in this particular era, this is the kind of content we're getting?
I mean, I don't even know how to answer that because it's obviously they're gonna shit on Nazis, but
it's obvious that Nazis are not gonna understand that.
But the main characters are legitimately awful people, like terrible, awful. We know for sure Stormfront murders, what's his name, Mother's Milk's dad. We know for sure she did it, right? Or not Mother's Milk, no, it wasn't Mother's Milk dad. It was Soldier Boy killed his dad in front, right? We know for sure. We know for sure he's a racist piece of shit because remember, he beat the hell out of the one black guy that was on the team. He beat the shit out of him, right? And of course, she's a Nazi. So why are these the main characters? But hey, another main character is going to be Kiki Lane, who I don't know her for a ton. I think she was in If Beale Street Could Talk, which is a movie I meant to see it years ago and I never got around to. But I really loved her in The Old Guard. I haven't seen The Old Guard 2, but The Old Guard that was on Netflix is amazing. She's really good in it. So we know they're going to have a black character in a period piece that takes place I think it takes place in the 50s and 60s. So it's post World War II when Vought is rising, so to speak, because Vought spins out of World War II. Who is she going to play? Not sure yet, but she's supposed to be a principal character. They also cast another person, but I don't care who they are. I like Kiki Lane. So I don't know if you know who this actor is, or if you've seen her in anything.
I'm not sure because I don't think I have. Because I haven't seen The Old Guard, obviously. It's just the movie that's called Old Guard. It's not something I immediately would gonna.
Right. You actually would like it because it's based on a comic book.
Okay,
yeah,
I might.
It's based on a comic. Who I'm trying to remember the name of the guy that Greg Rucka created it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about a group of people who are immortal. Like they can be killed, but they don't die. And like how they've just been kind of running around the earth, sort of as mercenaries doing their thing. And then Kiki Lane plays a character who she's the the first immortal like that's been found in like a while, because everybody else is like hundreds or 1,000 or so years old, but she's the first one that has been found in a long time, and they have to find her, and this other guy is trying to capture them so he can find out how they're immortal. That's for pharmaceuticals, because it's always.
I feel like I've seen her somewhere, but I'm not sure where.
Yeah, she's been in stuff, but she I think she's really good in the old guard. And hey, cool. I love, because I think this is about to start filming fairly soon, so I'm glad to see that they're adding more talent. And I'm gonna keep an eye on this. I want to see what they're cooking with. I'm kind of with you. I'm just like, is this the time for this thing?
Right.
Let me say, The Boys is hard to watch. So it's very hard to watch sometimes. Gen V not so much. I actually genuinely like Gen V a lot, and it's a lot easier to watch, but it's still kind of hard to watch. So I'm just like, all right, cool. So how much black trauma are we gonna get out of this show? I want to see what y'all's writers' room is looking like. That's what I really want to know. What's the writers' room look like? Because if ain't one of us in there, I'm gonna have a problem. Just saying, y'all have some sensitivity. We weren't just sitting at the back of the bus the whole time. Just accepting being lynched, or in this case, beaten to a pulp by, your Ubermensch. No thanks. I want all that. We'll see. We'll see what they're cooking with, and I will let you guys know when we get more information. Something I actually really am interested in, even though it's just getting into development. Spider-Punk is apparently in the works over at Sony Animation. Thank God, because they didn't say Sony live action. I'm like, fuck, man. No. Guys, y'all don't learn. Like,
when Madam Web shows up, it will all make sense.
When she shows up, at least they'll be able to. If she shows up in animated form, she'll be in the hands of people that can do something useful with her. But like, because every time Sony's like, we're doing a Spider-Man, I'm like, they're like animated. I'm like, ooh, oh my God. I was like, y'all had me for a second. I was gonna be like, this is gonna be terrible, because people are, people are
almost
like,
got me.
do you remember Kevin Feige was like, well, Miles Morales is off limits live action, and I was like, because they're gonna do something with him at Sony. They're like, no, because they're still doing the animated thing. They don't want to mess. I was like,
thank God.
God dang, they like nobody at Sony should be doing anything live action Spider-Man. Like, just leave it alone. But if you're gonna let Phil Lord,
only as a punishment, really.
Yeah.
for being bad fans.
Just, I mean, I don't understand. Okay, I'm not even gonna get into it. I've shit on Sony live action enough. But Lord and Miller are doing a good job over there, kind of shepherding the Spider-Verse line. And let's be honest, Spider-Punk was probably the standout character from the second one. I mean, we love Miles. Of course we love him, but Spider-Punk was such a cool ass character. His animation is amazing. Like, the way they animated him just made him stand out and pop away from everybody else. He's the coolest dude on the whole, on the screen. And hell yeah, we want to see what, I don't care if this is an origin or whatever it is. I want to see more. And then they said Daniel Kaluuya is going to be attached to this, who of course voiced him in, Across the Spider-Verse. Do we want this, Polly?
Yeah. Do we not want this?
I'm sure there's
absolutely.
I'm sure there's somebody who's like, oh great,
nobody asked for this.
Yeah, another black Spider-Man. Why can't we do? Nobody. Do you really want to see Peter J. Parker, or is it Peter B. Parker? You really want to see
Peter B. Parker,
the further adventures of Peter B. Parker? I'm down with it, only if Mayday is there. Like, if he's having to chase her around, like, while she's having their spider powers as a baby, I might be down for that. But no thanks. But Spider Punk's the cool guy. I
Also, we didn't get a lot of his background in the animated movie, uh, at least yet, and he seems like there's a lot going on in his life, and
and he did,
probably fun.
yeah, he did the coolest shit in this. And like aside from Miles, who obviously is going to get to do all the cool shit because he's the main character, but beyond him, he did the coolest stuff. He literally is the reason why Miles was able to break out and get away. And he was just like, he's like, nah, fuck this system. I'm Spider Punk. You think I'm just gonna go along with it? Nah, I'm good. He clocked.
And you know what? I think that a big part that I think it should be important to this project is music. Like, you find the best person to do the music.
Yeah. I suggest
look to the punk rock artists, preferably.
I suggest we get the Mighty Crab Joys in here because they're. I think I posted when I got my was it Spider Punk figure? I was like, this is the real Superman. I'm sorry, but this is the real punk rock. But I honestly think though that he and Spider Punk would get along pretty well. Because Spider Punk would be like,
probably
he would be like, he would want to be like, you're such a square, but like would respect his game.
But you mean well, and you like have all the right ideas.
Well, you got to think about it. What did Superman do that Spider Punk definitely would have done? He would have been like, I don't give a fuck about the law. I'm going to go save these people. Fuck that. Fuck the international incident shit. I don't care about that. I care about saving people. He would have gone and done that. So, which is like any good Spider-Man would get along with Superman straight up. But Miguel wouldn't. I don't think so. I can't see it. But any good Spider-Man worth anything would get along with Superman really well, I think. But this is cool. This is early stages, so I doubt we'll see about it for another 10 years because Sony Animation, y'all take forever.
Yeah, they take in their time. But you know what? I'm not even mad because they can afford it. They can focus on bringing you the best movie possible, and that's what they should do instead of doing what Sony Movies is doing.
Exactly, and more importantly, I'd rather wait a while and get something awesome than to get a quick turnaround in Madam Web. So,
or what's his name? Like, not Kraken, Craven the Hunter.
Craven the Hunter.
Yeah, the worst Russian spoken by a non-Russian in a movie ever.
I really wanted them to do an all Russian. I bet. Well, maybe they dubbed it into. What if the Russian dub was probably good, right? The localized Russian dub was probably good, right?
I know. I haven't seen it. I just get a kick out of hearing people try to speak Russian when they talk.
Yeah.
And that was a very bad example. But there was who was it? It was Russell Crowe, I think, who played his father, right? He had good Russian.
Well, he also is.
He spoke a little bit. He was really good.
He's a pro. He's a pro.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep an eye out on that. Let you guys know more about that when that drops. Speaking of Spider-Man, you can't avoid Spider-Man Brand New Day right now on social media. If you care at all about superhero films or whatever, you're gonna see it, right? Deadline and every variety.
Everybody's talking about it.
They're just like, look at this behind the scenes photo. Look at this behind the scenes photo. Look at this one. Oh no, Spidey is really swinging because they have this little. Did you see the little contraption where they were like showing the stunt people like slinging? They're like this. They're like people are like putting crying emojis. They're like, this is gonna be peak. Look, nerds, I love you. Y'all are my folks. Some of you are. Most of you are. And I'm excited for this too. But can y'all calm down like just a little bit? He did this shit in No Way Home too. Where he had a practical suit on and was slinging around and all this stuff. We saw all of that happen before too. Chill out.
I know. Is it me or it just looks the same? They're gonna come up with a new story, of course, but that's the interesting part.
Yeah.
Everything else, like behind the scenes, what are you trying to get out of the behind the scenes footage? Are you trying to spoil the movie for yourself? Do you not want to go to the theater and be excited?
Yeah.
You're
Well,
doing this to yourselves.
this is okay. So this is kind of what I want to get into. My caption is brand new day behind the scene info oversharing, because I think that's what's happening, and I don't like it, but I understand why. There's way more information about this than we ever got about Ironheart. I mean, like in a week, we've gotten more behind the scenes shit about this one movie than we ever got about the entire Ironheart film show that was filmed 3 years ago. That was done filming like 2 or 3 years ago. Way more than we got about, you know, Eyes of Wakanda. Way more than we got like this is a lot. To the point where like obviously there's shooting in Scotland and in Glasgow and they can't keep people away from doing footage, just outside stuff. I get it. But even Marvel is in on all of this oversharing, and I'm a little annoyed by it, not just because I don't want to know what's going on. Like they're showing like Punisher and all this other stuff that's going. Yeah, okay. It's not just that. It's weird to me that all of this attention and marketing, and because it's part of this is marketing, and all of this effort is being put into this Spider-Man movie, and like not even a fraction of that was put into these other things. I don't. We'll see what the marketing. We know that the marketing for this is going to be eclipse whatever they did for the Marvels. It's going to go. It's probably going to be about on par with what they tried to do with Captain America, but maybe a little bit more. But the marketing for this is going to be, even before they're done filming, it's just going to be continuously this. And I'm trying not to feel some type of way about how I think that they're shorting other projects. And then be like, well, nobody cares about this. But they're doing a full court press on this, and they're going to be like, see, this is why we need to just do Spider-Man. We just need to focus on Spider-Man.
But there is another problem. Problem as much as what exactly are they showing? They're showing Spider-Man himself, and they're showing Punisher. But I think that like everybody from his from Spider-Man's support character group were confirmed for this movie too.
There's even a picture of Tom Holland and Zendaya at like I'm hoping it's real, but it was like at a grave, like at Aunt May's grave. So they're showing like it's just a lot, and I don't love this
too much.
I think as a person following this stuff closely, I like that we have something to talk about, but I've been getting in the habit of not being too plugged into this, not just because I want to see the movie relatively fresh, but because you can overanalyze and then build this story up in your mind in a way that doesn't actually play out on the screen. And once again, I'm annoyed by how they put all this energy into this, but less into the other things that they've decided to make. And I want to see more effort on the part of lesser known characters, because how are you going to get anyone to be Spider-Man level if you don't give it the push like you're giving Spider-Man? So I understand there's a feedback loop in there, like you push Spider-Man gets big, you got to push Spider-Man, on and on. But how are you going to build other characters up without that kind of effort? That's all I'm saying.
I hope that's not what they're trying to do for Punisher by putting him in this movie. Because
we need 17 Punisher movies. I think he should show up. He should be like the street level Daredevil. Just if you're dealing with street level crime in New York City, Punisher's just going to show up and shoot somebody and be like, This is the only way to
Everybody.
this is the only way to deal with
Why just
crime.
somebody?
Yeah, that's the only way to deal
I
with crime.
mean, it's just. Wouldn't he shoot Spider-Man too, though? Any- anyway, what I don't particularly like about this is that avoiding spoilers and trying to build up anticipation is it's kind of like part of the nerd culture, and I think they're actively trying to change that, but I don't think that anyone really enjoys having a movie spoil and having even the key elements of the movie spoiled, because this experience that we're trying to achieve by not watching trailers, like too many trailers, too many TV spots, by not even knowing who might show up, those are the things that affect you while you're watching the movie. And when you see them for the first time, you get excited, and that's how you end up leaving the theater being happy about what you saw.
Mm-hmm.
When you know that it's gonna happen, I don't know, for me it's always like, if I know that something is gonna happen in particular, like in the story, I just expect that. I spend half of the movie expecting for that moment to happen. I think, when is it gonna happen, how is it gonna happen, and then of course it's a different experience. It's just not as good.
Right.
The perfect experience to me is when you don't know as much as you can afford to not know about the movie.
Yeah. It's. I think there's a danger here of just oversharing to the point of like that you can overshare. Like I think one of the things that was smart and also wrong thing to do. And look, what the fuck do I know? I don't work in Hollywood, but I think the Red Hulk thing for Captain America would have been awesome as a surprise thing, right? But also,
Yeah,
they had to do it to get butts and seats. So this is, I think this may be a sign
I
that,
don't. I'm not sure that works anymore.
I mean,
I'm not so sure about it.
I know one thing that they are really, really concerned about box office, about the waning power of the MCU as a box office draw. And so they're trying to prime the pump here. And I get it. Like, but I'm afraid that we're going to get to a point where a lot of stuff gets kind of out their way in advance, more so than it does with like the TV spots. And they're going to do like they do in the comics. Maybe we're seeing, and we'll talk about this in a minute. Maybe we're getting to the comic book industry version of what's going on in movies, which is now it's gimmicks, right? Gimmick. We got a reboot, retool. Let's get a gimmick. Let's get Wolverine showing up and everything. Let's get Deadpool showing up and everything. Let's get Spider-Man to pop his head in every now and then. Like, it's where Spider-Man can't have a movie where it's just him. And in fact, in the MCU, he hasn't had a movie where it's just him. It's like, yeah, not one. Every single one, it's somebody him plus something else, right?
I think that wasn't it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm lying. No,
The second one.
no,
The
that's
second
that's
one
not
was
true
just.
because it's him plus Nick Fury and Shield.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's never just, hey, I'm here dealing with my own shit. It's always him and some other people. And I'm a bit bothered by that, but this may just be the way it's moving because of the box office. So I don't know. Obviously I'm going to be a hypocrite and keep paying attention to these things. Sometimes some of these things you can't even avoid because it just shows up on your feed. But I do hope that they kind of, once they get on the sound stages, I think what we're seeing now is because they're doing all their external shots and everything. Once the soundstage shooting starts, maybe this will slow down, and I won't complain.
Hopefully it will
Yeah.
slow down. There is another problem though with that they started it really early.
Marvel did it
I don't
too.
know if that makes sense.
Marvel did this because they're like, ooh, look at the new suit. Oh, it's Tom Holland. He's in a new suit, y'all. Come on, get hyped.
And it's almost the same as the previous suit. It's not even that new.
Look, he's
still like red and blue.
But he's in a new suit though, y'all. He's in a new suit. So
Well, get that suit into Marvel Rivals. I don't know.
They
We'll
had
see
the
what it is.
nerve to post that 9-second thing. I was like, get the hell out of here. That's not. As soon as I saw it 9 seconds, I was like, why am I here? And then the next day they're like, how about 23 more seconds? And I was like, y'all could have kept this. No, you didn't even do it. Like if he had come out, it had been the black suit, and then like the symbiote had like poked up, and it was like I'd been like, okay, this is a thing. It's just a red and black. It's just the comics accurate suit. Cool, good for you, man. Anyway, I'm excited though. I'm looking forward to it. So anyway, well,
I'm not excited yet, but like I'll get there
yeah.
eventually.
Well, guys, we will hypocritically talk about more news when it comes up. Final thing for today, and what's on the thumbnail for this video for this live stream is an fantastic fall at the box office. I talked about Fantastic Four box office a bit. Look, it was good. It wasn't. Did it kill the game? No, but it did quite well. I think it was within a few $1,000,000 of the Superman first weekend box office. And I said, hey, this is a good start. I'm gonna predict if it drops a certain percentage, where it'll probably end up, where it'll end up its box office run. But I also was like, this is not going to do gangbusters. Like when Fantastic Four, when they were like, we're doing Fantastic, people were like, it's going to be $1 billion. I'm like, it's not going to be $1 billion film. I don't care what y'all say. It's not going to be $1 billion film. Superman wasn't going to be $1 billion film. I said that too. It doesn't have to.
Well, I thought it might, and didn't.
No,
Didn't happen.
I was pretty sure neither of these are going to be $1 billion film. But they just have to do well. And to that end, Superman, Superman is going to pass what I thought because my sky high, final box office for it, I think was like 700 and something. I think some people.
I think it was 8.
I was like,
around
it could
8.
Be 8. 8 was because I was thinking like, well, James Gunn's last movie got over 800 million. It's not going to do that. It will do. First of all, it's profitable now. I think I said 550 may have been like the low end. I think it's gonna go over. It's gonna go over that. Estimates right now are maybe 680. I think I said 600 is more likely now, like last week, and then it could be 650. We'll see. It has strong legs, which is to say that people still want to go and see it, right? Fantastic Four, on the other hand, and this is important to pay attention to. I was like, well, if it takes less than a 60%, 550, 600 is a good possibility. But it took a 66% second week drop. That is not good. 60% is normal for most things. Less than 60 is, hey, let's pop champagne bottles, right? Over 60% is concerning. 70%, you're getting washed. You just forget about it. It's close to 70%, and that means that its potential earning, towards the end of its box office run, is pretty limited. Like, I think it's near 400 now. Probably with this weekend, it'll go over 400 million, which it's better than Thunderbolts, right? Better than the Marvels by far. Better than Black Adam. None of that is a good sign. Because they put a lot of work. Look, they put plenty of effort into this. I think it's at least a $200 million budget. The marketing, they marketed the hell out of this.
Marketing
They marketed the hell out of that. So you can expect that marketing budget was probably north of 100 million. Lots of merch, right? Just like they did everything in their power, including making a good movie, to make this happen. And what's happened? Us nerds went out and saw it the first weekend, maybe once or twice. But the average person, movie person or consumer, they're not showing up, right? they are not showing up. And so what we have is a box office that is very anemic. As of now, so it's I'm looking at Box Office Mojo right now, $382 million. Now, again, it's gonna go above 400. I suspect it should get to at least 450 if it's got a few, if it's got another 4 weeks in, but it's just diminishing returns week after week. So why? Why is this? Why is this happening? I have thoughts, but I want to hear what you have to say first about this lackluster second weekend, and what is this? What is this telling you, and what do you think Hollywood's hearing or Disney
I
rather?
have no idea. I really have no idea because I think that's something that would take uh like research and analysis and a lot of focus groups, and it still wouldn't be figured out. But what I think is happening is that maybe the average moviegoer, they just either don't have the time or don't have the resources. And I don't think that they're making the choice between Superman and Fantastic Four. I think they're not even considering going to the theater or watching something entirely different. And it's not a, it's I don't think that it has something to do with like superhero fatigue, like everybody likes to say. I think that it's just these movies have found its audience, the nerds, people who watched the previous phases and became interested in it, and they have there are people who watched enough of that and moved on, which is I think like it happens in fashion with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything uh, becomes a thing, becomes trendy, and then it goes away. And that is not fatigue. That's just the normal movement of the market.
Yeah, I
That's
think
what I think.
I even my on the thumbnail I was like, is the Marvel age over? And yeah,
I don't think that it's the age, and I don't think that it's over because when they come up with something new, and I'm sure they will eventually, they can bring it back. They can redesign it, reshape it, but it can't stay as as one of those classic brands with limited releases, or it can be like mass market, but it can't stay mass market forever apparently, because it's not something that everybody needs. It's not like grocery or or clothing. It's
yeah,
just something that has to appeal to a certain audience, and it found its audience, and its audience is ready to bring this amount of money uh, for each movie. I think that it's like it found its niche, and it's gonna stay there probably
right.
till they come up with something absolutely new.
Yeah, so that I think the thing about this movie, well, again, it's a good movie. It's also the first movie in what could potentially be a trilogy. Um,
And I think they already greenlit the second part,
but
right?
I mean, they're definitely. I don't know about the the second one. I know
The
that
second movie. I've seen it, but I'm not
I
sure.
mean, it could be, but they're gonna be in the MCU for a while, as
Mm.
characters that are doing like Avengers stuff or whatever. But what's going on here is I've been saying this repeatedly for some time now, that what's happening is streaming is strangling the box office because people wait for streaming now. The cost, yes, the cost of movies do affect that. I'm not going to say that's not true, but the fact is that if you can reliably wait, 8 weeks to see a movie on streaming, or why would you go to theater to see it? No one's in a hurry to see this. Um, the other thing is, in order to get people to be like, "Hey, I have to go see this," What do you need? A banger, and I don't mean just like, "Oh, this is cool. Oh, this is fun. This is good." No, you need a, "Hey, this is phenomenal. I can't
You
wait.
have to see this immediately.
I can't wait for this. And people want to be like, well, why Superman? Why not Fantastic Four? Well, one, Superman's a better movie. It just is. But also, it's I think James Gunn goes into the movie. His thought about Superman is to redefine the Superman for this generation, right? His idea. So he takes his task to reintroduce and redefine a character that most people are aware of, but maybe don't vibe with it so much, and he wants to like give them a spin that's for them. Fantastic Four, for better or for worse, is not doing that. I don't think it's redefining anything. If anything, it's just saying, here's the characters that they were in the comics, and we're gonna, sand off the rough edges and make it cool and fun and like a fun little throwback. And in a way, it's made for us, which is wrong. Don't make look. I don't understand why I got to say this to people who do this for a living. Don't make movies for me, and don't make movies for Polly. Don't make movies for us. We're no, I mean, I'm glad you did.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm cool with that you did, but don't do that. We are not your target audience. Your target audience are people who aren't invested in this shit. You got to get them in the seat, because you're not going to ever make $1 billion with just us. There ain't enough of us. We are, and again, you don't need to market to me. No, look, as soon as they said, hey, I'm making a Madam Web movie, and I knew it was going to be trash, I was going to show up anyway. It didn't matter what was happening. As soon as they said, hey, we're making a Deadpool movie, I was there. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be sweet talked into showing up for these things. But
yeah, but you realize that like the fact that you showed up for Madam Web is the reason they kept doing this. This whole time it's on you.
I went and watched every one of those things. Every Venomverse, Sony Spider-Verse thing I showed up for. I am not the person, like, y'all stop marketing to me. Stop catering to my thoughts and desires. Stop doing that. Because if you make a movie that other people can enjoy and then throw in Easter eggs, I'll still be happy. Fantastic Four, I think, is a good movie. In some places, it's great. It's also very inside, baseball, if you will. It's very much for people who already kind of know what's going on, or at the least really appreciate the Silver Age. And I don't think that necessarily translates well to general audiences. So, is this the end of the Marvel Age? I think the answer to that is yes. And the Marvel Age is, to me, the height of Phase 3. Phase 3 of Marvel was the pinnacle. If you look at Endgame as the top of Everest, they were ascending every movie. Phase 3 doesn't really have bad movies. The worst movie in Phase 3, I think, is Ant-Man and the Wasp. And it's still really good. So, they're going up and up and up. That's the Marvel Age. And I think we're not going to get back to that. No matter what, they're going to be chasing that high for the rest of, as long as Marvel Studios exists, they're going to be chasing that. And they're never going to get to it, because that was just a moment. Or not a moment. That was a run where they were just hitting on all cylinders. If they ever are to get back to something similar to that, because remember, it wasn't Endgame like the 19th movie? I think it was the 19th MCU movie. All right. So we need to take 19 more movies. Maybe you get to it.
Well, yes, and also I don't entirely agree with you, because I think that they're gonna try to make movies for us. They're gonna try to make movies. Well, they could try making movies for us. They could try making movies for general audience, but they won't make everybody happy. That won't happen. because they kind of started this whole thing as a separate thing. It was, yeah, the movies were comic book based, but they didn't have a lot to do with the comics. They always took some liberties and changed a lot of things, and they did grow a generation of people who knew these characters from the movies, and they probably failed to get them that invested into the comics and into the multiverse and into more of the characters.
Right.
So when they got to this point where they had to let them go, maybe that's when a lot of people fell off. And also, it's like it's an expensive hobby. It's really hard to keep up with everything, and some people just do grow up.
Mm-hmm. Grow up and
Not
grow out of
us,
it.
of course, but yeah, they grow out of it, and they don't have the resources to maintain this hobby because, like, again, it's an expensive hobby. So maybe they failed to make it accessible enough, and they failed to attract the younger generations.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't get, like, and we discussed this with you before, but they didn't create anything strong and powerful enough for kids to get into.
Mm-hmm.
So they would grow up and grow with this stuff and follow it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're trying to capture a newer audience or an audience that's just coming into it. They're not doing a good job of marketing the newer characters. If you're going to pass the torch, you got to make a plan to pass the torch and not just be like, well, we're Marvel, so whatever we put
Oh,
out,
the
people,
actor is
yeah,
living.
yeah, we're Marvel, so whatever we put out, people are going to want. And that's not true. They believe their hype, and so that's where they're at. Kevin Feige also said that the what he said, reliance on characters from streaming shows is, they've been saying that that's a problem, but also the fact that they were told to make more and make more and make it now, that they're calling it diluting the Marvel brand. I don't agree that it's diluting the brand, but I do think that introducing more characters, like every new character you introduce has the potential to be one that people love, right? The first time people saw Iron Man, most people didn't know Iron Man, right? And now people know him and love him. Every character has a potential to be the next Iron Man. You just got to handle them right, and you got to have people who are passionate about the characters, who really want everyone else to love them, to to handle what's going on and give them a good faith chance to get them in front of people and say, hey, this is someone you should love too. Here's an adventure that'll make you love them. And that's just not what's happening. Like, the problem with TV shows, the idea was the TV shows are going to feed the movies. That's not true. It did not work. They failed. They did it. They've done it for like the past 5 or 6 years. It hasn't worked. All right, we got new characters need to be introduced in the movies.
Well, yeah, they're changing the plan, which is what they always did.
Yeah.
They always worked like this. This is the whole Marvel method that they use in the MCU method. And there's also this thing that they still were the first the company that, like, studio that built this huge universe. So every mistake that they're working with now, like that they're facing now, it's the first.
Mm-hmm.
There is no guidebook on how to avoid that. They don't know what they're doing, and that's fine, and that's okay, because that's exactly how we got to the MCU in the first place.
Right.
They were trying a new thing, and they got there, and now they're trying to recapture it, and they will get there probably. They may never get there, I don't know, but they're gonna try things, and they're gonna fail, and they're gonna succeed. I just don't think that this particular, like, what happened with the Fantastic Four, whatever happened, we still got a great movie. We got a movie for fans. We got a movie that maybe the general audience will watch later on streaming and fall in love with. And they would fall in love with the characters. Maybe that would encourage them to go see the next movie. We don't know yet.
Right.
We're still in the early process of, like, seeing where it goes and how they're gonna develop it.
Yeah, I think the I'm afraid of Marvel and Disney taking um, the wrong lesson from this. I mean, the problem is that making mistakes does help you learn, but these are expensive ass mistakes. Like the Marvels was a really expensive mistake. Eternals, as much as I like the movie, was was an expensive misstep, right? Even Captain America: Brave New World, an expensive misstep. Every time that they do one of the things, they learn something, but I don't know if they're learning the right things. Because it seems to me that they're learning like, less diversity. Even though Kevin Feige said no, we're still going to be diverse, but your money is what actually tells me what you're doing. What's prioritizing. This is why I was talking about the Spider-Man full court press they're doing. You know, I'm afraid that they're going to look at what happens to this with this movie, and we'll see, because that's the next movie, right? And then it's an Avengers movie. I'm afraid the lesson they're going to take is, well, hell, the last $1 billion movies we made were, or close to $1 billion movies, were Black Panther, was it Spider-Man, Black Panther, Deadpool, and Avengers, right? Or even the Doctor Strange, but less Doctor Strange. And they're like, we just need to make those movies. We're going to concentrate on making those movies and not really anything else. And that money tells you where, their success monetarily will tell them where they ought to be investing their resources. And damn it, I don't want them to just be a studio that just makes Spider-Man and Avengers and Deadpool. I don't want that. Like they have thousands of characters.
No, there's also X-Men.
Yeah, well, we'll see how X-Men plays out. I mean, they're banking on it being their next Avengers.
Yeah, but there is it's more likely than Fantastic Four doing just that, because Fantastic Four as well, it's my understanding that the team is not as popular.
Right.
Like right now, with this generation of comic book fans, the team is not that popular. It's not the Avengers, and it's not the X-Men. And X-Men have been very popular. It's a pretty stable situation with them, so I think that a lot of people would be interested in going and watching them. But still, it's more likely than that the X-Men would be the next big thing. Oh, it's my hope anyway. But there's also the question of what kind of movie are they going to make? Are they going to make the movie for us fans, or are they going to make a movie for the general audience?
Right.
Again, now it's always a question.
That's the line they have. It's a fine line to walk. You can do it. James Gunn just proved it. Like, it's, again, it's not gangbusters, but it's definitely profitable. And which is, I think I would love for them to get back to just aiming for profitability, not, outsized box office, but hey, we're making some money.
But again, this comparison feels unfair to me, because again, we're dealing with Superman, which is like the synonym of a superhero.
Yeah.
And Fantastic Four, but we'll see how Spider-Man does, because Spider-Man is closer to Superman's level, I think, in popularity.
I'm gonna predict. I think Brand New Day is gonna make $1 billion. I just think between the fact that it has Punisher, Hulk's gonna be in it, it's gonna lead directly into the next.
Hulk's gonna be in it.
Ruffalo's gonna be in it. So you get Hulk, Punisher. There, Ruffalo is not Ruffalo, but I forget who the other person, the bad guys. It might, Mr. Negative might be in it, but we know Scorpion's gonna. So all of that's gonna happen, but also it leads into Avengers. So I think it'll be $1 billion film, just on Spider-Man name recognition and Avengers name recognition.
Okay, I'm gonna remember that, because like the next time when you start dropping down the price,
I could absolutely be wrong, but just this is a year out, a year away. Given how much work
makes it more interesting.
A year away, they're giving it all this shine right now, and doing all this stuff before they're even done shoot. They barely started shooting this thing. I think it's going to be $1 billion film.
if they see that people are losing interest in it, they'll just bring back the other two Spider-Man.
Well,
That's what they did the last time.
I think I think what's likely to happen just to really kind of prime the pump. Not only want to say prime the pump, to kind of game the system. They probably will bring other cameos in, but like as in like the credit scene or toward the end, because they got to set up Doomsday. Right?
Look, bring in Doom.
So either
That's
that
always
or
the
they'll
thing.
bring in Deadpool or something like that.
Just not Reed. Yeah.
So we'll see. Look, I think Marvel's fine. Like they're gonna be fine. I just think expectations game is kind of what's going on here. Like we expect them to do big numbers, and I think if they aim for doing modest numbers that set up a character or set up the Fantastic Four or whoever, they'll be fine. Like, but they need to focus on that, less so being worried about what we the nerds care about. We care about the characters, but we will show up. It doesn't matter, right? And also to figure out, the separation between TV and movies. Now, I do wonder if bringing Punisher, but Punisher is a known character anyway, so bringing him into the movies makes sense, right? But are they gonna?
Well, in the Spider-Man movie, it does make sense if you follow the comics, of course, but in general, like I don't know.
I think it'll make sense. So the question is, if seeing Punisher on the big screen will turn into them wanting to watch him on the small screen. Because maybe it's the opposite way. Maybe the movies are going to feed into the TV. Maybe that's the way that like if they would just stop putting the damn Marvel movies on Disney Plus so fast, if they instead of 2.5 3 months, it's 5 or 6 months, then it would be cool then that you saw somebody on Spider-Man Brand New Day. Oh, it's Punisher. Wait a minute, there's Punisher on Disney Plus. Then people go to Disney Plus. Now you're creating a positive a positive interest into Disney Plus, because Disney Plus is.
I think it's gonna work because it's still piracy.
I mean, sure, but like some people are too lazy. They're just like, I'll just pay for Disney Plus and be done with it. And then there's all this material on Disney Plus that they can watch, and now you have a good reason.
Actually, I think that they could have done a little more material, like director's cuts, stuff like that.
There's all sorts of opportunity there, but I like, as long as they're not thinking it's TV goes to film.
I think they're using it to the fullest.
Well, I think if they cut down on the undercutting their box office with putting it on Disney Plus so fast, and then look at it as the movies being the actual mass market, appeal thing that gets people into the smaller TV side, then you can justify putting more money into smaller TV shows or characters. And then making sure that if you want a character to hit, start there in the movies and then work down, not the other way. So that's my opinion. But anyway, I just hope they get it together. But definitely looking forward to Spider-Man and maybe Blade one day. I don't know. Anyway,
you had to bring up Blade.
I had to bring up Blade. Anyway, that's all of our news for this week. But what did you guys think about all of this stuff? What did you think about what we had to say? You know what to do. Get down there to the comment section and leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit me up. It's supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, blurred_force1 on Instagram and Threads, super_not_funny_show on TikTok, even though I really don't use TikTok. And while you're doing that, get down there, hit like on this stream or the video if you're watching it after the fact, and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see all of the content that we do here at Blurred Force 1. And of course, couldn't do this by myself. I needed my good friend Polly to come in and give her comic book knowledge, and also maybe calm me down a bit on some of it. I feel like I was going overboard with some of that Marvel stuff. But either way, be the voice of reason on this podcast. So Polly, can you tell them where they can reach you, where you when you're
Of
not
course.
when you're not at your the Latvian Society for Read Truth.
Well, I most of the time I spend there, of course, but on like weekends and non-working hours, you can reach me at core_mixed on Threads, on Tumblr, and on Instagram. And I promise that I'm gonna be posting much, much more very, very soon.
Yeah. Hey, the Read Truth is not gonna post itself, so yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the like Marvel official account. I think it was Marvel Comics official account on Instagram. They're trying to whitewash, like they're really working overtime, trying to whitewash Reed's image. They're like top 10 or 20 things that Reed feels guilty about. And I'm gonna tell you, but I've read like almost everything about Reed Richards, and he doesn't feel guilty about all of those things. Only some.
He feels
And
guilty.
we don't
Yeah,
know how guilty he
he
feels.
feels guilty about
That's a
letting the make
blatant lie.
yeah letting the maker get away or something. I don't
He
know.
feels guilty about getting caught most of the time.
Sounds about right. Um, all right. Well, this has been episode 192 of the Supercast. Join us next week. We're going to talk about more, and we're getting ready for Peacemaker. We'll see if Polly has done her homework yet.
Okay. You know what? Mark my words. I'm gonna watch it this week.
All right. Peacemaker's
Next
coming up.
week, I'm gonna come back. And I'll have seen
Yeah,
every
well,
episode.
like I said, you got. Let's see, it's coming out on the 28th, 27th, 28th. So you got a couple weeks. You got about 2.5 weeks to get it done. So you get go. Do
How
that.
many episodes are in the first season?
10 episodes.
I'm gonna do
Or is it 10 or 8?
next week.
Oh, is it 10? Might be 10. Yeah, I think it might be 8. I don't know. Let me look at this.
I'm gonna do it by next week.
Let,
I'm gonna
let
be
me
ready.
see. So they just did episode 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, 10. 10 episodes. So you got plenty of time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you guys do the same. Get caught up on Peacemaker. We got a couple weeks and we're gonna be ready for that. But either way, we'll see you next week talking about all this superhero news and everything like that. So until then, I have been Mo, your comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by my good friend Polly. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.